Namaskar, good afternoon, and warm greetings from the Confederation of Indian Textile Industries, CITI. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live now, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Second edition of Global Textile Conclave on the India Factor Transforming Global Textiles and Apparels in the year 2021, which is being organized by Confederation of Indian Textile Industries, CITI, along with co-partners International Textile Manufacturers Federation, ITMF, and International Apparel Federation, IAF, and Jersey Textile Organization as the knowledge partner. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome all the eminent personalities chairing each session, esteemed moderators, panelists, media attendees to this significant virtual conference. We are extremely delighted to have participants from different parts of the world. Namaskar and good afternoon. Mr. T. Rajkumar, Chairman, CITI. Mr. Sanjay Jain, Chairman, Organizing Committee, CITI GTC 2021. Mr. Giuseppe Gerzi, Managing Partner, Gerzi Textile Organization, Zurich. The Organizing Committee members of CITI GTC 2021. Distinguished dignitaries, government officials from the Ministry of Textiles, policymakers, and trade experts from Ministry of Finance, Commerce, Agriculture and Labor, media, officials from textile associations and stakeholders of the textile value chain. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the proud privilege today in welcoming you to the inaugural. I now request Mr. T. Rajkumar, Chairman, Confederation of Textile Industry, CITI, to kindly propose the welcome address to the August gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Union Minister of Textiles and Women and Child Development, Srimati Smriti Jubin Irani ji, CITI past Chairman and Chairman Organizing Committee of the CITI Global Textile Conference 2021, Shri Sanjay Jain ji, Mr. Giuseppe Gerzi, Managing Partner, Jersey Textile Organization, Zurich, past chairmen of CITI, esteemed members, member associations, and invitees of CITI, eminent speakers, representatives of the media, delegates and friends from all textile associations from all over the world, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you all. At the outset, I would like to thank our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, for sending his goodwill message for the Indian textile and apparel industry. I also feel immensely proud and pleasure in welcoming the Honorable Union Minister of Textiles, Srimati Smriti Jubin Irani ji. Madam, on behalf of the entire textile fraternity, I would like to place on record our sincere gratitude for accepting our humble request and taking out your precious time from your busy schedule to inaugurate the second edition of Global Textile Conclave 2021. Today, the entire textile and apparel fraternity is overwhelmed and delighted with your esteemed presence in the conclave. Madam, your good self have always been a strong pillar and epitome of huge strength to the entire textile sector. I extend a very warm welcome to Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Textiles, Sri Upendra Prasad Singh, for associating with us today. I also extend a very warm welcome to the Textile Commissioner, Ms. Roop Rashi, for associating with us today. I also welcome all the speakers and delegates who are pioneers of the textile value chain, who are present with us today from different parts of not only India, but from all over the globe. Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, which is also one of the apex industry chamber of textiles and apparel industry in India, having pan-India presence in the textile value chain, is organizing the second edition of Global Textile Conclave 2021, which is undoubtedly one of the major textile virtual conclaves for the textile, clothing and allied industry, and covers the entire textile value chain from farm to fashion. The theme of the conclave aptly matched the current situation, the Indian factor, transforming global textiles and apparel in 2021 to 2030, and translates the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister's Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat with the sole objective of serving the world with Indian clothing. Since Indian textiles and apparel industry is going to play a key role in defining the future of global textile and apparel industry, it becomes imperative to do brainstorming, sharing, and gaining key insights on ideas, innovative technologies, and best practices for sustainable growth in the textile and clothing industry amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. We all know that the Indian textile and apparel industry plays a significant role in the Indian economy, as it not only contributes about 2% in our GDP, but also has a share of about 11% in India's total export basket in the world. We also feel proud to say that this sector has a unique feature of generating the maximum employment with the minimum investment, generating about 30 to 60 jobs per 1 crore of investment. As per industry estimates, this sector provides direct and indirect employment to about 10 crore people, most of which are farmers and people from remote areas, especially the illiterate and the downtrodden women. Thus, it forms a strong backbone of our economy. Since last year, we witnessed one of the worst disruptions in the form of COVID-19 pandemic, which affected the economy and industrial activities not only in India, but across the globe. However, the textile and apparel sector was one of the worst hit sectors by the COVID-19, but due to its capital and labor intensive nature and working on wafer thin margins of around 3 to 4% to compete with peer countries, which has very strong textile economy. Our Honorable Union Minister of Textiles, Srimati Smriti Zubin Irani ji, always remained in forefront to help the industry during this unprecedented time and paved way to convert the crisis into a unique opportunity by becoming the second largest manufacturers of PPE kits from nowhere within 2 months. Thank you, Madam. Friends, as we all are aware, our Honorable Prime Minister has set an ambitious economic vision of the achieving US 5 trillion economy by 2024-2025. The COVID-19 crisis has pushed back the economic reforms by about 1 to 2 years, but industry, with the support of the government, is striving hard to regain normalcy in the business and is working hard for a V-shaped recovery. Similarly, the Honorable Union Minister of Textiles has also set an ambitious target of US 350 billion textile market from the present size of 167 US dollars, and to achieve this, the Ministry of Textiles has brought in a number of policy reforms. The recent announcement of the Product Linked Incentive PLI scheme, Samrat, and proposed textile parks under the Mitra scheme is expected to be a game changer for our industry and will enable the textile industry to become globally competitive and attract large investments, boost large employment generations and exports. The Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Textile Minister has also been kind enough by bringing in structural changes in the man-made fiber sector by removing anti-dumping duty on PTA, acrylic fiber, nylon, and rejecting ADD on PSF, MEG, and also recommending to address the inverted duty structure in man-made fiber sector and slotting the entire cotton textile value chain under 5% GST slab. Today, over 5,000 industry players are present with us, and in the next 2 days, 40 renowned international experts and industry leaders will deliberate and enlighten us with the best possible solutions, and we will be dwelling at length upon all major aspects concerning and paving way for the new opportunities thrown up by this conference. Friends, issues will always be there in this imperfect world. However, what is important is that we continuously endeavor and strive in the dynamic environment for betterment of our industry. It is very important to keep a positive mindset. Before I conclude my speech, I once again thank the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Textile Minister and the entire government for their proactive approach to address our industry issues and make us stronger than ever, especially during this pandemic time. I once again thank and welcome you all for the second edition of the Global Textile Conclave 2021, and I assure you that after this event, you all will have a very different but a positive perspective about our industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for those warm words of welcome. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the proud privilege in requesting Mr. Giuseppe Gerzi, Managing Partner, Gerzi Textile Organization, Zurich, to kindly deliver the theme presentation on reimagining the global textile industry and opportunities. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Gerzi, and over to you for your theme presentation.
First of all, let me thank everyone for having this opportunity to address this speech, especially during these times. I'm sitting here in St. Moritz at a temperature of -8 degrees, and you see that even then textiles are very much needed. Now, our company was founded 1929, and at that time, textile was different. So there has been a lot of transformation during that time up until today, and this transformation will continue. Actually, the Romans were saying 2000 years ago, they were saying tempora mutantur et nos mutamur in illis, which means that times are being changed and we also are changing within these times. And especially for our industry, this is extremely important. And in India, we have been found in 1960, and in 1960, if you might remember, 1 rupee was equivalent to 1 Swiss franc. And a trip from Zurich, Switzerland to Mumbai at that time was taking 2 weeks on the boat. Now, this has changed dramatically, and this is why the transformation, the theme of this conference, is extremely well chosen, especially during these times. But let's not talk too much about the past, and let's talk more about the present and the future. Let us start with the present. Our actual textile industry is today characterized by several aspects. Point number 1, we are atomized and decentralized, and many of the operations worldwide are not running on top efficiency and sustainability. And there we do have to do a joint effort to improve that. Second, there is still this silo mentality. When I say silo mentality, I mean that I know exactly what I do and I'm a master in that, but I do not understand what my client does and what the final consumer requires, either B2B or B2C. That's very dangerous because when disruptions are coming, you won't see them coming and it will be too late once you see it. This is the status quo. But let's look at the disruptions which are coming up. And there are tons of them, but I will only highlight a couple of them. Point number 1 is digital printing and digital finishing. I remember there were times about 1 year ago when I was still allowed to travel outside of Switzerland, and I went to Italy. I went to a printer in Italy which was printing on shirting fabric. And this company had a Chinese Atexco printer. And this printer was printing actually on top, then with the CCD camera scanning it, then fixation, and in a second step, the fabric was coming back and being printed on the back side. Now this is replacing and will replace in the future shirting. So yarn dyed shirting will be replaced by digital printing. And I don't have to tell you what is the impact on weaving and what is the impact especially on yarn dyeing. So digital printing is disruptive. There are also new business models which can be done with digital printing. And this, as textiles, we have to understand that it's not only about the product, but it's also about the business models that we will serve or actually have to serve in the future. The second disruption is digitalization itself. That is coming up strongly in Europe, and we're planning some of the most advanced textile factories in Europe. This is today limited to technical textiles, but we see a trend that also traditional textile will invest much more in digitalization. And when I'm talking about digitalization, it's not only in the production, but it's in terms of new business models and new services, as well as all the utilities in the factory, which are all connected to each other and help to achieve the highest efficiency, which we need to do in our industry. Now there are many other disruptions, and I think the time will limit me to these ones that I just described. Let me talk about India, the opportunities for India, and there I could speak hours because India has so many opportunities. But let's look at a couple of them. Point number one: man-made fibers. It was addressed by Mr. Rajkumar in the opening speech that man-made fiber is an avenue of growth for the next decades for the Indian textile industry. And it's not only the availability of competitive fibers, but it's also the capability of treating those fibers as a dyer and finisher. And I think that India has an opportunity there to strengthen its know-how now up to the latest standards in treating man-made fibers. Second opportunity is technical textiles. And as you all know, technical textile is a huge venue in Europe. And when we in Europe transformed the industry from a traditional textile into a technical textile, it took, as an average for a company, it took approximately 3 to 5 years to initiate the transformation. But once you have done it, it's extremely rewardful, because entry barriers also are much higher compared to the traditional textiles. So India will slowly evolve towards technical textiles. We see this coming. The third opportunity is garmenting. And if we like it or not, but garmenting is a major engine of growth for all traditional textile industries. And India has there also now huge opportunities. And last but not least, this package of measurements which were taken by the government of India, by the Minister of Textile, together with the industry, this goes absolutely in the right direction. We're talking here about man-made fibers. We're talking here about these parks, these textile parks, which will definitely increase the competitive position of India. Let me come to the last point, which is actually COVID. And COVID, for me, it's not a disruption, it's an accelerator. What we have seen all over the world is that COVID has actually accelerated some of the trends which were already there before COVID happened. Point number one, the trends toward knits. It is a fact that COVID has boosted the consumption of knits towards woven, due to the fact we're all doing home office, we're using leisure wear, we're using less shirts, but more knits, and this has now been accelerated by COVID. Part number two, it is digitalization. We are all getting used, and now it is the best example. Actually, I should be in India with a nice temperature, but I'm here at minus 8 to 10 degrees. We are getting used to do our business on a more digital ways. This has advantages and disadvantages, but I think that we will overcome that. And that applies also to the production. Now, point number three is that the COVID has actually accelerated the sourcing patterns of this world. and it was even before COVID, that many European and American buyers, and we will hear that throughout this conference, because I saw the program, which is absolutely great. There are some brands talking from the US. Lian Feng, that's a couple $billion company, is talking about how they are sourcing today and how they want to source in the future, and the role of the supplier. And this has been accelerated by COVID. Even before, these American and European brands, they wanted to de-risk from the China sourcing. China will remain one of the largest suppliers of textiles in the next decades, but India has the opportunity to grab a significant share. And having said that, I would like to invite you to listen carefully, identify some opportunities for your company during this conference, and wish you a very successful conference. And I will now go with my kids this afternoon and have some ski, because they are very young. And as you know, here in Switzerland at the moment is skiing holiday. I wish you a great success. I will be popping into the conference tomorrow morning as well as in this afternoon, and wish you a big success in the conference, and namaste to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for that theme presentation on reimagining the global textile industry and opportunities.
The city would like to thank the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, for sending his goodwill message for the Indian textile and apparel industry. With proud privilege, I am inviting Honorable Union Minister of Textiles, Srimati Smriti Subin Ivrani ji, to read the goodwill message of Honorable Prime Minister.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have the privilege of reading out the Honorable Prime Minister's message for the Indian textile fraternity, and for this, the conference, the Global Textile Conclave 2021. Prime Minister's message is the following. It is a pleasure to learn about the Global Textile Conclave 2021, organized by the Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, CITI, in collaboration with ITMF Switzerland and International Apparel Federation Netherlands. Innovation and creativity have been the remarkable aspects of Indian art and culture since the earliest times, amalgamating artistic brilliance with simplicity of thought. India's vibrant textile sector and our hard-working weavers are the representatives of the richness of traditional manufacturing, uniqueness of craft, and diversity of design. Various regions across the country have their own textile traditions as an integral part of their cultural identity. From being amongst the highest job provider in the country to building trade and cultural relations globally, India's textile sector has always been full of opportunities. Our government has been taking comprehensive measures in an integrated manner, focused on creating the right ecosystem, enhancing ease of doing business, and capacity building through skill development. To provide an impetus to the textiles industry, we have implemented a series of measures to upscale physical infrastructure to global standards. Contribution of the textile sector is vital towards building an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Integrating the sector with latest technologies is one area where the government is particularly focusing. The textiles industry must continue to innovate as well as research extensively to enable it to tap new markets and deepen the niche in diversity, manufacturing, and design. The impact of COVID-19 pandemic showed how technology can be utilized to strengthen the disruptive resilience of society and transform a challenge into an opportunity. The hardworking textile workers and craftsmen enable the textile industry to make an invaluable contribution towards meeting the requirements of cost-effective PPE kits within the country. CITI has been serving the textiles and clothing industry for decades with great commitment, facilitating inclusive growth by generating employment for rural women. I am sure this global conclave will provide a vibrant platform to various national and international stakeholders to share latest technological innovations, best practices, and experiences for mutual benefit. The exchange of ideas in this conclave will create new avenues for collaborations. Best wishes for all success of Global Textile Conclave 2021, Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi.
Thank you very much indeed for reading the goodwill message of the Honorable Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor that today's conclave is graced by our Honorable Union Minister of Textiles and Women and Child Development, Srimati Smriti Zubin Iraniji. And I have the proud privilege in inviting the Honorable Union Minister of Textiles and Women and Child Development, Srimati Smriti Zubin Iraniji, for inaugurating the second edition of Global Textiles Conclave 2021 and to kindly deliver the inaugural address. Once again, a very warm welcome to you, ma'am. And ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Honorable Minister with a warm round of applause. And over to you, ma'am, for your inaugural address.
It is with a deep sense of privilege and pride that I hereby declare the Global Textiles Conclave 2021 open. At the onset, let me extend my heartfelt greetings to industry captains, nationally, internationally subject experts who have joined us in this effort to globalize the possibilities of Indian textile industry and look for new avenues of partnership and collaboration. I had the privilege of listening to a voice from Switzerland about the disruptive elements that one may find in the times to come in the Indian textile sector. And I believe that in his address, apart from disruptions and challenges, lay a hint of the opportunity that India needs to leverage. I would, on behalf of the industry, extend my grateful thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister for giving for the first time ever a 6,000 crore package dedicated only to the garment and made-up sector in our country, which gave much impetus for growth in that vital segment of our sectors. The recent announcement of a dedicated 10,000 crore package for production-linked incentives, especially to bring to fore the robustness of the MMF industry and to complement the growth of technical textiles industry in our country, is a cause for celebration amongst many. I must here also reiterate that it is under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister that the first ever national mission on technical textiles was unfolded in our country with a target to enhance research capacities, to enhance technology and production and manufacturing capacities dedicated solely to technical textiles. Like I said, the voice from Switzerland, which spoke about disruption, also spoke with a voice of reason about opportunities that India can leverage. And one of the greatest opportunities lies today not only in the segment of technical textiles, but particularly in the segment of build tech, in the segment of med tech, in the segment of oceotech, wherein we together can combine our strengths as one of the largest consuming bodies in the country, in the world, and facilitate the growth of our industry as a complement to that infrastructure spend that the government of India envisages. The recent budget had an allocation of capital expenditure of over 1 lakh crore only in the segment of infrastructure. There are many who specialize in build tech in our industry. I appeal to them to envisage a future, or for that matter, an input for technical textiles in the capital expenditure that the government hopes to unleash in the financial year post the passage of the budget in the Indian Parliament. I must here also say that apart from 1 lakh crores given for the road sector, an additional 1 lakh crores was given particularly to the Ministry of Railways so that capital expenditure can strengthen employment opportunities for many across our country. There has been a dedicated mission by the government of India called the Jal Jeevan Mission. And here I'm particularly targeting those factories, those companies that are dedicated to technical textiles. The endeavor of government of India till now has been to provide not only clean drinking water, but also to ensure that water bodies are developed, especially in rural India. There is much capacity that can be complemented by technical textiles in that segment. As the Prime Minister's message to CITI and the Global Textile Conclave 2021 enunciated or underlined, the PPE story of India is historical. The fact that we could turn around and reorient our manufacturing processes in just 2 months to become the second largest exporter of PPE suits in the world, the fact that while global economies were in a lockdown where movement was restricted, a $1 billion industry came to the fore. The fact that a country which had absolutely no company indigenously manufacturing PPE suits today has a thriving 1,100 companies is a testimony to the tenacity of the Indian textile industry, is a testimony to the talent of the Indian textile industry. And I think it is that strength that needs to become the foundation from how we grow in the sector from now to the years to come. And that is why today, when the Prime Minister in the budget, through the Finance Minister, announces the Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana, it envisages the construction of critical care hospitals across all blocks and all districts of our country, an opportunity again for those industry captains who indulge in production of medtech. That being said, the production linked incentive schemes will highlight certain lines where India needs to be self reliant, where India can become a global competitor, and additionally, the recent announcement of the 7 mega textile park gives us much cause for celebration. My appeal to all those who have joined us in this global conclave is to encourage more and more investors to find new investment opportunities in the 7 mega textile parks that the government has so announced. I look forward to engaging with partner states, with partner countries, with companies and investors under the aegis of CITI who would like to come and invest not only in the 7 mega textile parks, but also the other smaller textile parks that are currently functional or that hope to operationalize soon in India. That additional capacity that we can utilize now to attract investors is something that I would like to partner in the ministry with CITI and all those who are a part of the Global Textile Conclave so that we can better opportunities for our manufacturing companies. I must say this, that when we speak about digitalization, we speak of issues such as digital printing, when we speak of meeting up with global standards, these are conversations that need to percolate, especially to the MSME segment of the textile industry. Yet again, I will seek CITI's partnership in ensuring that when we are looking at the global sourcing needs of companies worldwide, how can we make our smaller units adept to meet those standards is an area we need to particularly focus on. Sustainable textiles is a mantra not only for the present, but also a good business plan for the future. And I'm hopeful that in the Global Textile Conclave, we have many deliberations that are focused particularly on sustainability of the textile industry. One of the greatest challenges that today, especially with regards to areas such as silk, is the challenge of good technology, which is equally effective from a cost perspective in the areas of silk. I am hopeful that when it comes to self-reliance in the silk segment, this global conclave will throw up some new ideas, some new methodologies that the government of India can possibly process or pursue as policies. Additionally, there is much to be done in the diversification of jute industry. I'm hopeful that the Global Textile Conclave can also tell us how can we expand our horizons for diversification of opportunities in the jute business. We have seen that there are those who are a part of the traditional textile industry and those who are looking at futuristic textiles. Between the two, there is a lot of ground for technology, which can facilitate design, which can facilitate IPR issues, which can help facilitate access to credit, mostly to smaller companies. And I'm hopeful these questions of design, these questions of sustainability, IPR, better credit are conversations that can come to the fore on this platform, on the Global Textile Conclave platform. And I'm hopeful that those productive conversations get reflected in the communication between CITI and the Ministry of Textiles, Government of India. Yet again, as has been highlighted in the Honorable Prime Minister's message, the Government of India is dedicated to the cause of a vibrant Indian textile industry. Be it the 6,000 crore package given specially for garments and made up, be it the 10,000 crore announcement for the PLI scheme, specially dedicated to MMF and to technical textiles, be it the National Mission for Technical Textiles or the recent announcement of 7 mega textile parks, the time finally has come for the Indian textile industry to be recognized as a force to reckon with in the global economy. Once again, my heartiest congratulations to all the participants. My best wishes to Team CITI.
Thank you very much indeed. And on behalf of the entire textile value chain and CITI committee, I wholeheartedly express our deep gratitude to the Honorable Union Minister of Textiles for inaugurating CITI GTC 2021 and for kindly reading the goodwill message of the Honorable Prime Minister. Once again, thank you very much indeed, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time and being here with us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I request Shri Sanjay K. Jain, the Chairman Organizing Committee, CITI GTC 2021, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
A very good day to everyone here. It's a privilege to be here for the CITI conference, and I would like to personally, first of all, thank our Honorable Union Minister of Textiles, Women and Child Development, Madam Smriti Irani ji, for gracing this conference and delivering not only her inaugural address but our Honorable Prime Minister's goodwill message. We are always thankful to our Honorable Prime Minister for always his support and guidance whenever we have needed it. And Indian textile industry being the largest employer industry for from inception, and it all not only gives employment to the urban to rural. His blessings and support and motivation mean a lot to us. Ma'am, I really don't know how to thank you, ma'am, because we've always felt you to be part of us, part of our industry, both as a guardian, guide, advisor, friend, supporter, wherever and whenever, ma'am, we've needed you. But as I'm delivering this vote of very important inaugural session. Uh, on behalf of CITI, on behalf of the entire Indian and global textile industry, ma'am, we would like to thank you from our heart. You were speaking about the PPE wonder that our country did, but we all know it would not have been possible without your support, guidance, and the entire Ministry of Textile, who I remember even a cargo flight was sent to pick up samples. Such unprecedented support was what led to Indian industry rising to the occasion, and as we say, to make ourselves Atmanirbhar in a very critical time where we could not look forward to any other place in the globe for support. Ma'am, we hope you have announced a lot of schemes that the government has already done, and I know a lot more is intended with the PLI scheme coming in, and many more small things that you keep or gifting us as motivation and support, ma'am. We hope this will always continue. And I personally also don't know how to thank you, ma'am, because you've always been there whenever we've needed you. I would also like to thank our CITI chairman and the whole committee for giving me this responsibility of organizing such a very important conference. I think so first time on a single platform have we got so many 4,500 plus registrations for a single conference with participation from more than 30 countries. And it's spanning all across the globe. Thank you very much, Mr. Ghazi. Any amount of thanks to you and your team would be less. I know the sort of effort you and Mr. Sodhi and Mr. Mukherjee have put in to get such a galaxy of speakers, which even the best of best conferences could not have knit together. It's proud that even people sitting in USA, Far East, anywhere in the world have joined as speakers to discuss so that we get the best of best and the whole industry can benefit from celebrations. I would also personally like to thank ITMF, and IF for immediately agreeing, despite being such a two large global organizations, immediately agreeing to co-partner CITI in this endeavor to reach out to each and every global textile industry player, whenever they are. Uh, Also, I would like to thank Shri Sanjay Saranji, Joint Secretary, MOT, and his team for the support, which made a big difference in making this event a success. I'll also like to thank all our sponsors, speakers, delegates, media, authors who have contributed articles in the special edition, which we will be releasing during the course of this conference, without whom this conference could never have been. When we started discussions, we were hopeful that we could at least one delegate task which was crossing even more. I all hope on behalf of City that you're going to some of the best globally and within the country give their viewpoint, and as we open the window for all of you to start thinking about what the world holds for us and how we need to innovate while we build sustainability in our businesses. And as my honorable minister said, it's very important. India textile having a lot of MSMEs across the globe. It's very important walk the way along with the larger players and stay in tandem with the changing times so that they can also grow with all of us. And what we look as MSMEs today or yesterday, have many of them are now giants today and many are going to be giants tomorrow. So with this, once again, thank you all of you who are listening here and wish you a great conference, and I hope you all enjoy it. We love to get back your feedback on an ongoing basis. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sapna. Back to you.
Thank you very much, sir, for kindly proposing the points. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to play the goodwill messages of the doyens of the Indian textile industry, which will not only reflect the current state of the textile industry, but also the true potential it holds to fulfill the aspirations of our beloved Honorable Prime Minister by achieving Make in India initiatives and the Atmanirbhar Bharat. We have presentations by the doyens of the Indian textile industry, Sri Suresh Kotak, Chairman Kotak and Company, affectionately known as the Cotton Man of India. Dr. K.V. Srinivasan, Managing Director, Premier Textiles Group, and Mrs. Dipali Goenka, CEO and Joint MD, Welspun India. Can we have the messages, the goodwill messages by the doyen of the Indian textile industry?
Respected Honorable Textile Minister Srimati Smritiben Irani, our Chairman Shri Rajkumarji, and dignitaries. We are gladdened today with the blessings of our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi to this international conclave. We are also very happy that we have amongst us guiding and inspirational person like Smriti Ben, who has always been proactive in helping the industry. I compliment CITI for this conclave. India is on a threshold of textile renaissance, and we are on the throes of becoming very prominent globally. Thanks to empowering policies of our government and industry's resolute resolve to reboot, reform and research to become a very great significant supplier to the world market. I am also glad that India has proved to be a reliable supplier to consumer satisfaction with the policies of sustainability in its policies, its processes and its practices and its total cultural setup. So this helps us to make us very, very prominent and most significant in the world arena. Friends, we are also very happy that our industry is adopting all the advanced technologies, all the good technologies, all the relevant technologies, and we are becoming contextual in technology thanks to our government's encouragement and empowerment. I am also very happy that we have started using our cotton endowments. Say, for example, under inspiration of government, Cotton Corporation has developed our international brand. Also, our cotton endowment and our man-made fiber endowment is also very great. And our fiber endowments are pivotal to our development, as it is a very fundamental to any textile industry, because the cost component of the fiber material is 40% to 75% in the cost of the product. So here we are endowed very richly by number 1 ranking in cotton, number 2 ranking in man-made fiber. Of course, we have to remove our certain lacunas, but we have also an added advantage of other natural fibers like jute, other tree fibers, the animal fibers like wool and silk, the bast fibers like fiber, which are hard fibers. So we have a very rich matrix of fiber composition. I must also say that we in CITI, as CITI CDRA, the research wing, has also done commendable work in the development and growth of cotton. We have reached productivity standards of 900 to 1000 in Rajasthan, as well as we have effected the compositional change by achieving the extra long staple to international standards. I am so glad that we are on the throes of all developments, and also we must thank our government for all round conducive policies in agriculture, in their attitude towards MSMEs, financial aspects, and all kind of support, and all kind of ease of business, and all kinds of various aspects of national developments are being taken care, and that will make our India a great nation. And I am thankful to all of my friends in textiles who have been also cooperating, and we are all wedded to one purpose, and that bring up textile to prominence. And I am delighted to say that we are on the way to become, and it gives me great pleasure that during my lifetime I will see it as a reality. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
The next message, the goodwill message from Dr. K.V. Srinivasan, the Managing Director, Premier Textiles Group.
Dear colleagues in the textile industry, I am very happy to note that the second edition of the Global Textile Conclave 2021 is being organized by the Confederation of Indian Textile Industry along with its international partners ITMF and IAF. Leaders from the industry, international buyers and government institutions are taking part in this conference, and the theme is on India being an alternative sourcing destination for textiles. India has a rich and ancient textile heritage and continues to be a dominant player in the global textile industry. It is the largest producer of cotton, has a large manufacturing capacity for yarn, fabric, home textiles, apparel and knitwear, a well-trained technical managerial capacity and a skilled workforce. India covers the entire chain of textile manufacturing from raw material to finished garments, and is therefore uniquely positioned to become a major textile supplier to the world. The textile industry in India is also focusing on manufacturing sustainable textiles with its emphasis on organic raw material, green energy and zero discharge. The Premier Group is also actively involved in India's reach for the global textile market. We are a $200 million group manufacturing fine cotton fabric and home textiles. We manufacture in India and export to over 40 countries worldwide. We are also focused on sustainable manufacturing. 100% of our energy consumption is green. and we have invested in over 100 megawatt of wind energy. We are carbon neutral. Over 70% of the waste produced in our spinning mill is recycled and spun into open-end yarns. In our finishing mill, 95% of our water consumption is treated and reused. I am sure that this conclave will be of immense value to all participants from the industry, and I wish it all success. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. And now we will run the message, the goodwill message by Mrs. Dipali Goenka, CEO and Joint MD, Welspun India.
Namaskar. I am delighted to be present at the eminent Global Textile Conclave and share space with Honorable Union Textiles and Women and Child Development Minister, Ms. Smriti Irani, and distinguished industry leaders. Today, the textile industry stands at the cusp of transformation in the way that the industry employs, operates, and delivers. India is strongly positioned to have the major pie with presence of complete value chain from fiber to fashion and abundant availability of input raw material like cotton, silk, viscose. The industry has always brought in opportunities and has put India on the global map since the 3rd century. Textile today is the 2nd largest employer in the country and would be a key sector to build an Atmanirbhar Bharat of the future. Welspun Group is humbled to be part of this journey and putting India on the world map as the global textile leader in home textiles. I am proud to share that today, an India homegrown brand has the highest market share in the world's largest consumer market of United States. India's strengths have already been defined in made-ups, handlooms, and natural fibers globally. India is now rapidly emerging as a key global player in technical textile industry. Today, the textile industry, with the government support, has emerged as 2nd largest PPE maker during the pandemic, further boosting opportunities to foray into new business segments and tap the growth potential there too. To support the nation and community, Welspun India also leveraged its integrated woven and non-woven capabilities to produce health and hygiene products ranging from masks, wipes, disposable linen, and coveralls. Sustainability is now a business imperative. Consumers and investors are holding companies accountable on sustainability and ESG. Hence, at Welspun, we have coined our ESG strategy as Velocity, with acceleration at its core. It aims to propel the well-being of the environment, well-being of the society, along with the well-being of economic stakeholders, with a strong governance bedrock. As leaders in sustainability, we intend to have a larger impact faster. When we built the world's largest home textile facility in the arid region of Anjar, Kutch, it had just suffered a devastating earthquake. Today, it is a thriving, self-sustaining ecosystem and an inspiring example of development, employing more than 20,000 people. 100% of our water needs in Anjar are met through recycled wastewater, so that fresh water remains fully available to the local communities. Welspun products are largely made out of cotton, which is why the sustainability journey begins right from the farmers affiliated to Welspun, who are trained to grow BCI and organic cotton in Wardha, Maharashtra, and Kutch, Gujarat. Our projects are spread over 350 villages and indirectly impact 75,000 farm workers. 25% of our employees are women, and we want to grow this even further. At Welspun, we work with local women to create beautiful handcrafted products by upcycling factory remnants, which are sold globally under the brand name Spun. The recent announcement of setting up 7 textile parks in next 3 years, in addition to the PLI scheme for technical textiles and man-made fibers, is a very positive step taken by the government and promises to strengthen global leadership of Indian textiles. The industry acknowledges government support towards bringing in a transformation and further development of this industry. With this, I would like to wish Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, CITI, ITMF, IF, and GERSI all the success for organizing second edition of Global Textiles Conclave 21, and thank them to once again bringing in both domestic and international industry together through this effort. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, ma'am. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we once again thank all the doyens of the Indian textile industry for the inspiring goodwill messages. And with this, we conclude the inaugural session. I once again thank the Honorable Union Minister of Textiles and Women and Child Development, Srimati Smriti Zubin Irani, and dignitaries for addressing this august gathering comprising the entire textile and clothing value chain from across the globe.